Hey there, Facebook. It's Fonda. Good evening to you. I had contemplated whether or not I was going to do a video today because today is a kind of a semi-day off for me. But I was thinking about you, and I was thinking about this episode of Your Diet is Better Than Mine that I saw the season finale last night. And it really got me to thinking about the stigma of what crazy means, or emotionally unstable, or all the things that go along with it. And those of us that are in the health professional arena, that are here to support people in certain things that they are doing. Hey there. We have a tough spot, right? Because, you know, we're here, we need you. I mean, technically life coaching is not healthcare, but when I'm in the role of massage therapist, I definitely am a healthcare provider, if you will. And so it got me to thinking about how people are thinking about therapy. And if I admit that I need help with something that I cannot cope with, then that automatically makes me crazy. And I think that's very dangerous for us because it leaves us no place to go. So I wanted to just offer you this. If you are in a place where you feel like you need help, get help. Because people in your life, as I've said before and I'll say it again, will all tell you that that they'll have an opinion about what you do and what you don't do. Whether you do it right or whether you don't do it right. You can check all the boxes and people will still not be satisfied with you. And therefore, if you have something that's on your heart and in your mind that's just kind of like going and going and going, and you cannot figure a way out, seek some help. Please, please, please seek some help. Therapy is a very good vehicle for those that need it. I myself needed therapy at one point in my life. When my mom died, I was absolutely devastated. I couldn't get it together. So much so that, you know, I went to sleep, you know, like you ever feel so emotionally dead that you just go to sleep and you just go through the motions? And by the time that I thought, you know, I really need some therapy, the statute of limitations, or whatever they call it, for bereavement had expired for people whose loved ones died of cancer. That had expired, so there was no place for me to go. Can you believe that? Like, I'm asking for help and you're just like, you know, like your grieving process is up. Like, how do you know that for somebody else? But luckily I just kept digging, because what ended up happening was I was on this short loop, and I had a very, very dear friend. And at the time I didn't understand what she meant, but I trusted her enough that if she had the courage to say this to me, that I needed to really, really listen to what she said. Because, you know, like, I'd get on the phone with her and I'd, you know, like, cue tears, and I would cry, talking about my mom. And she got really, really quiet with me this one particular conversation. I'll never forget it. She said, you know, I love you. I love you, I do. But I just want to be your friend. I don't know how to help you. You need to talk to somebody. Now, did I feel crazy? No. Was I aware that I kept repeating the same thing? Yes. But I thought that, you know, we're in at that time it was like Phil Donahue and Oprah was just getting hot. So, you know, like, you thought that that's what you were supposed to do, you know, just like in a hamster wheel, that morning hamster wheel, you know. I'm like, do. I don't know if I want to do like the hamster wheel, or if I want to be like the lady from the Wicked Witch of the West, you know. But you get the picture. But the point is that I really heard her. I heard her, and I went on this quest. And I had to go through a myriad of therapists. I knew I wanted the person to be a woman. I knew that she had to have God in her life. You know, but you go through the channels that they tell you that you go through, that you have to go through. I was in corporate, I was in the fashion industry, and my insurance, paid for X amount of therapy sessions, and you go and network, and it's cheaper and all that stuff, right? And this woman was an atheist, and I was like, oh no, ma'am, because when I reference God, I want somebody to be like, yes, I might not agree with you, but I know that which of what you speak. It needs to be a match, right? So, and then there was other woman who, she was so veiled and she was so coiffed and whatever. And, I could tell you a whole bunch of stories about that. I don't want to bore you. But I will say that, you have to, even though you have sadness, that doesn't mean that you don't have life. And it doesn't mean that you can't push through and get through, right? There has to be some type of hope, right, in order for you to see yourself on the other side. And so, but you also, at the end of the day, you have to trust your gut. No matter what someone tells you, no matter what a professional tells you, you trust your gut, baby girl, baby boy. You do that every single time, and you cannot go wrong. And so I had to go through a few different therapists, and I found this therapist that I gotta tell you, she saved my life. She saved my life because I got into therapy because I told a couple people that I trusted, hey, do you know of a therapist? And so for some people that could be embarrassing and a stigma. So I just wanted to offer that to you. If you're thinking about that, if you've ever thought about that, I want you to know that you're not alone. I want you to be able to identify with somebody that you know and hopefully you trust, that you can find the answers that you're seeking. You can see the other side. And, thank God I was in therapy, because around the time when I was in therapy with her, I was contemplating suicide that was my first time when I contemplated suicide. And she didn't try to talk me out of it. That was very interesting. So I read this book called, I never forget it, it's my favorite author ever, Paulo Coelho. You might know him, the author of The Alchemist. Such a great author. And so the name of the book is Veronica Decides to Die. My therapist told me to read this book. And I thought that it was very strange that she wasn't trying to, have me committed or, like try to put me on drugs. I mean, by the way, P.S., only a psychiatrist can put you on medication. She was a psychologist, so there's the difference. Because we hear psycho and we automatically don't hear the rest. Has that ever happened for you? So I was very surprised that she trusted me enough, I guess because, she's a professional and she knows the cues. But she told me to read this book. Let me tell you something. This book changed my life. This book changed my life because it was about a young woman who was contemplating suicide. I was that, around the same time, the age that I was. And what I learned also is that Paulo Coelho would make fictional characters based on events in his life. He had gone to a mental institution a few times, and the book was about people who were in a mental institution, who just needed a break from life, because this thing called life goes real fast. And it goes real, sometimes you're just like, you feel like you're crashing and you've got no brakes and you're going at least 90 miles an hour. Yeah? So people in this book and in his life, right, because he's making these fictional characters, but these are people he knew. They went to the insane asylum to rest. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds like the sanest thing you could ever do. It's a mental hotel. I'm going to chill, and I'm going to get a reprieve, and I need to be like, whew, so I can slow down and I can take a rest. And so all this to share with you is that the book was amazing because it made me want to engage in life. Like, just be here fully and just like, let's do this. Let's see what's on the other side. I mean, so amazing. This psychologist, Dana is her name, and Dada, excuse me. She changed her name, but it was Dara, but now it's Dada, and I honor, all the changes. But she She is one of the reasons I am a life coach today. Because although she was a psychologist, she taught me meditation. She taught me visualization. She taught me vision boards. As a matter of fact, before we end this, somebody remind me if I don't do it. I've got a vision board that it's like it's swallowing a whole wall. So visualization, meditation, vision boards, journaling, just really getting my feelings out of me, outside of my head, and really starting to discover my body and what was going on for you. I hear you. I hear you, LaFleur. Thank you so much for sharing that. It's a process. It's really a process, and don't rush. But if you need to speak with someone, speak with a therapist. If you feel like you want to, do a couple processes and speak with me, PM me. I'm here for you. So she was amazing to me. I just marveled at all these tools that she pulled in to help support me. And then it went from that into group therapy because I got bored. I couldn't talk about the same stuff. I was just like, I need some other stimulation. And if you know anything about me, you know that like I can work on a couple of different projects at the same time because like I just need, my brain needs to be, on a couple of different things. And so it was just really, it was a lovely experience for me. And I did it for years. And those people that were in my life that couldn't necessarily understand that I was in therapy, I didn't share it with everybody. If you don't feel safe enough to share it with other people, and I don't mean safe like a life-threatening situation, but sometimes you have to do what you feel like you need to do for you without doing a whole bunch of explaining, because then you got to hold other people's hands when you need to go and do you. You understand? So you have to make a choice. Is it safe enough? Can I like let my hair down enough to tell this to this person, or do I need to just keep this to myself? I'm not keeping a secret. I'm just choosing not to have to babysit somebody else's emotions. And that's not selfish in the way that we've been taught to believe that it needs to be. It's really like, I'm just going to take care of me right now. So before I conclude, I just wanted to share with you my vision board, and you'll see that it's not complete because, life is not complete, and so I continue to add to it. But I just wanted to come to you tonight and just really get real about the fact that, you're not crazy if you feel like you need to go to therapy. You're not selfish is absolutely okay. And as a matter of fact, maybe that'll be another video because I got a whole bunch to say about that. I think that selflessness is dangerous, especially as women. But that, again, is another video, perhaps. If you want to hear more about that, leave a comment, PM me, and let me know that, yes, please go ahead and do that. But I just wanted to give you some comfort and some words this evening. And that's all. I feel empty. And I feel complete, and I feel really full that you guys have taken the time to be with me this evening. I feel really touched, so thank you very much. And I love you like cook food. And until next time, come look at my vision board. So as you'll see, it goes from the ceiling all the way to the floor. See there? You cannot be afraid to take up space in your own life. Yeah, isn't that cool? So until the next time. Ciao then.